For centuries, sailors have feared a stretch of ocean so violent, so unpredictable, that even the bravest called it a nightmare at sea. A place where waves rise like towers, winds roar like beasts, and ships, no matter how mighty, vanish without a trace. This is the Drake Passage. Most people know the Panama Canal was built to save time on long voyages around South America. But what many don't realize is that mariners once braved a far more dangerous route at the southern tip of the continent, a place that became a rite of passage for explorers, adventurers, and scientists, and a region so treacherous that ordinary commercial ships still avoid it at all costs. Today, we journey into the heart of one of the world's most infamous straits. We'll uncover its history, its dangers, its tales of disaster and survival, and why it remains one of the most awe-inspiring and feared waterways on Earth. Where is the Drake Passage? The Drake Passage spans the 620-mile stretch between Cape Horn, Chile, and the northern tip of Antarctica. To put that in perspective, that's the same distance between London and Berlin, or the length of the ancient Bering Land Bridge that once connected Asia to North America during the last ice age. Here, three oceans collide: the Pacific, the Atlantic, and the Southern Ocean. This natural bottleneck plunges to staggering depths, averaging 11,000 feet and reaching nearly 16,000 feet in places, equal to the height of Mont Blanc in the Alps. This is more than geography. It is a living system, a meeting ground of forces so powerful they shape global climate, and so violent they have tested every ship to enter its waters. The name behind the passage. Why is it called the Drake Passage? The answer lies in the Age of Empires. In 1577, Sir Francis Drake, already infamous as a pirate and sea dog, sanctioned by the English crown, set out on a mission to raid Spanish settlements and carve a British foothold in South America. Ruthless and ambitious, Drake executed his own second-in-command before pushing through the treacherous Strait of Magellan. But when storms scattered his fleet, Drake never actually sailed through the waters that now bear his name. Instead, he speculated that just south of Tierra del Fuego, the world's great oceans might converge. He was right. His name endured, tied forever to this place of chaos and legend. Yet in Latin America, many still call it Mar de Hoces, in honor of Spanish explorer Francisco de Hoces, who may have sighted the passage decades earlier in 1526. The first crossings in Cape Horn. The first confirmed passage came in 1616, when Dutch navigator Willem Schouten braved the violent seas below Tierra del Fuego. He successfully rounded the tip of South America and named the southern headland Cape Horn, after his hometown of Hoorn in the Netherlands. Schouten's voyage changed the world. For centuries afterward, Cape Horn became the gateway to the Pacific. Every trading ship had to endure its wrath, until the opening of the Panama Canal in 1914. But what exactly made this place so infamous? Why is the Drake Passage so dangerous? The Drake Passage is the most powerful oceanic choke point on Earth. Here, the Antarctic circumpolar current surges eastward, moving 600 times more water than the Amazon River. It drives Earth's climate, mixing heat, nutrients, and salt between oceans. But for sailors, it creates chaos. The seas here have two faces: the deceptive calm of the Drake Lake and the violent Drake Shake. In its fury, waves can tower 60 feet high. Air temperatures hover near freezing, and the water itself sits just above 30 degrees Fahrenheit, cold enough to kill in minutes. Above, the winds scream with legendary force. Known as the Roaring 40s, Furious 50s, and Screaming 60s, they whip across the passage, creating cyclones, towering waves, and weather that shifts from placid to catastrophic in moments. It is here that the ocean shows humanity just how small we truly are. Disasters and heroism in the Drake Passage. The Drake Passage has inspired both tragedy and triumph. In 1772, Captain James Cook became the first to cross the Antarctic Circle, but never set foot on the southern continent. He warned that no one would ever survive venturing farther. Instead, his words only fueled new generations of explorers. The early 20th century brought the race to the South Pole. Norwegian Roald Amundsen claimed victory in 1911. A month later, British explorer Robert Falcon Scott arrived, only to perish with his team on the brutal return journey. Then came Ernest Shackleton's legendary ordeal. In 1914, his ship, the Endurance, was crushed by pack ice. With no hope of rescue, Shackleton and 5 men sailed a lifeboat 700 miles across the Drake Passage itself, facing 100-foot waves, freezing spray, and storms that should have ended them. Against all odds, they reached safety. Shackleton returned for his crew, and miraculously, every man survived. The dangers didn't end in the age of wooden ships. In 2012, the yacht Mar Sem Fem was trapped in Antarctic ice and torn apart by storm winds. Its crew barely escaped. In 2002, another vessel, the Magdalena Oldendorf, was marooned and rescued under similar conditions. Even today, the Drake Passage reminds us it cannot be tamed. Modern feats and climate legacy. In recent years, it has also become a proving ground for human endurance. In 2019, explorer Colin O'Brady and a team of elite rowers made the first human-powered crossing of the Drake Passage. For 12 brutal days, they rowed in shifts of 90 minutes, through storms, freezing winds, and endless seas, arriving on Christmas Day as pioneers of one of the last great firsts in exploration. In 2022, Chilean swimmer Barbara Hernandez Huerta, the Ice Mermaid, set a world record by swimming a mile in its near-freezing waters in just 15 minutes. Her mission was not only to test her limits, but to raise awareness for the fragile ecosystems of the Southern Ocean. Because the Drake Passage is not just a graveyard or a challenge, it is a keystone of our planet's climate engine. Scientists now travel here to study the Antarctic circumpolar current and its role in regulating global temperatures. In a world facing climate change, the Drake Passage may hold answers or warnings about Earth's future. The Drake Passage is more than a strait. It is a crucible of courage and catastrophe, where nature reminds us of its overwhelming power. From the earliest explorers to today's scientists and adventurers, it has inspired fear, awe, and respect. Crossing it is never just a journey. It is a confrontation with the limits of human ambition, and a humbling reminder that the forces of nature will always hold the final word.